Hey, Pastor Steve Waldron, I hope you're having a great day in Jesus. Here we have, this was kind of an earth-shattering book. Back in the day, Michael Denton, an Australian molecular biologist and medical doctor who's lived and worked in London, Toronto, and Sydney, who's best known for his biological research, came out with this book. And it kind of precursed Michael Behe's Darwin's Black Box, the biochemical challenge to evolution. So new developments in science are challenging orthodox Darwinism by Michael Denton. Now he, to my knowledge, is no type of like Christian creationist or anything. He's considered, is my understanding, to be an evolutionist, but he was saying, look, the evidence is not there. It's not, it doesn't exist. So I don't think he was a creationist of any sort or anything like that. So this is done in 1986. So Genesis rejected the theory of evolution from Darwin to dogma, a partial truth, the typological perception of nature, on and on the fossil record, bridging the gaps, molecular biological revolution. Let's see what he has to say here about Genesis rejected. Okay, so he's talking about Darwin rejecting Genesis. Let's just see here. All in all, the scientific community was still wedded to the cosmology of Genesis. Okay, talking about that, Darwin of the Beagle. So this is basically just a historical background of how Darwin went from belief in creation to Darwin's finches and the theory of evolution, even though his grandfather believed in the theory of evolution. Erasmus has done some videos on that. But I was going to see if he rejected the theory of evolution, because I've been told he did. But again, this is just one of those seminal books in the history of science. Like The Spectator says, what will be most embarrassing to the neo-Darwinians will be Denton's revelation that the evidence from his specialty, molecular biology, lends them no support. So let's just read a little bit of the back, get a little better feel for this. The idea of evolution is the keystone of our modern worldview. Yet the theory propounded by Darwin and elaborated into accepted fact by the scientific establishment is coming under increasing fire. This authoritative and remarkably accessible book by a molecular biologist shows how rapidly accumulating evidence is threatening the basic assumption of orthodox Darwinism. Although the theory appears to be correct regarding the emergence of new species, its larger claims to account for the relationship between classes and orders, let alone the origin of life, appear to be based on shaky foundations at best. See, he's not a creationist. He says evolution happened. Not only has paleontology failed to come up with the fossil missing links, which Darwin anticipated, but hypothetical reconstructions of major evolutionary developments, such as that linking birds to reptiles, are beginning to look more like fantasies than serious conjectures. Even the currently popular theory of punctuated equilibrium, that's Stephen Jay Gould, which is a lot in favor with creationism, really cannot adequately fill in the real gaps we face within visiting how major groups of plants and animals arose. Punctuated equilibrium says every 50,000 years ago, there's hopeful monsters that appear out of nowhere. Egg will, bird will lay an egg and out will come a dinosaur. We don't know how. And then a few miles, propitiousness enough, a few miles away, a female dinosaur will come and they'll meet each other 18 miles away and be able to procreate, because you have procreation problems if you with the hopeful monster theory. All right. Most important of all, the discoveries of molecular biologists, far from strengthening Darwin's claims, are throwing more and more doubt on traditional Darwinism. So that this is a book, A Theory in Crisis, Darwinism. That is really true. And if it was true 35 years ago, it's more true now. And this is why your books on the signature of the cell and other types of books, I mentioned Behe, he's got a new book out as well, really just eviscerate the theory of evolution in any way, shape, or form in so many areas and arenas. So God bless. I'll talk with you later in Jesus' name. Great book.